Coming up on Valley View News, the coronavirus affects students nationwide. CSUN students are no exception. Plus, a local woman living on the street runs to be on her neighborhood council. And a former CSUN athlete is now on his own after his visa expired.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Xochitl Hernandez.
And I'm Tyler Ridgel.
CSUN's administration said that 13 students are being told to self-isolate for 14 days because of potential exposure to the COVID-19 virus. University President Diane Harrison said there are no confirmed COVID-19 cases at CSUN. LA health officials say there is no immediate threat to the public. The 13 affected CSUN students attended a Washington, D.C. conference where 2 attendees tested positive for the coronavirus. Meanwhile, university officials said they're doing everything possible to keep students safe. Valley View News reporter Esteban Reynoso has more on CSUN efforts to fight COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus.
Some campuses nationwide are closed because of the coronavirus. The virus has been found in counties surrounding Northridge, so why not CSUN? CSUN official and director of the Klotz Health Center, Dr. Linda Chesiakis, explains why.
Recommendations that came from the CDC and LACDPH that increase the cleanliness, disinfection, and sanitization of our campus. If, for example, something was cleaned once a day, we increase the frequency of cleaning. That's the recommendation.
CSUN has hand sanitizer dispensers around campus and even posters telling students how to prevent the spread of germs. But what would CSUN do if a student contracted the virus?
We want them to call first. If you're not feeling well, if you have the symptoms of coronavirus, if they think that you might have COVID-19, then we would pick up the phone right away and we would call Los Angeles County Department of Public Health.
Some students are even scared to come to campus because of the virus.
Just coming to the gym, I do get nervous just because of the handprint scan, which can spread germs throughout the gym, and that makes it easier for diseases to get through.
No one on CSUN's campus has contracted COVID-19 as of Monday, and officials say to prevent the virus, wash your hands often, avoid touching your face, and stay home if you feel sick. Reporting in Northridge, I'm Esteban Reynoso for Valley View News.
Some CSUN students started an online petition urging the school to cancel classes because of the COVID-19 virus. CSUN's Dr. Chesiakis said the school has heard rumors of the petition. She said the school is preparing for all contingencies for faculties and students. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health confirmed 14 cases of novel coronavirus, or COVID-19, in the county. Governor Gavin Newsom does expect more schools to close in Northern California. The Elk Grove Unified School District canceled classes and sports games for the week, and Murrieta Valley High School closed Monday.
Many public events around the world have been canceled because of the coronavirus, but CSUN didn't cancel its Big Bash concert. Organizers say they did their best to limit the spread of germs. Valley View News reporter Omar James reports.
Spreading germs is frowned upon under any circumstances, especially at events like Big Bash. But now, with the coronavirus outbreak, everyone is extra careful. The virus started in China and spread to 78 countries. So far, 22 Americans have died. People like Chloe Nixon, who attended CSUN's Big Bash, have concerns.
For instance, for volunteers, we wear gloves when we come in contact with scanning tickets and stuff because, you never know.
The coronavirus threat makes large gatherings uncomfortable for those attending and organizing. The NBA even flirted with the idea of playing games in empty arenas. Big Bash organizers like Kevin Morgerati are taking precautions.
There's extra hand sanitizers for all the vendors. And we got hand sanitizers, extra hand sanitizers for all the porta potties. And we're informing students on how to stay safe, not just here, but also off campus once they get home.
The organizers aren't the only ones taking precautions. Food vendor Ruben Fuentes says he's doing his best to keep his food truck germ-free.
We always take care of the safety and the cleanliness of our food truck. It's actually one of the major things. Our menu is also very simple, so nothing is cross-contaminated easily. Also, we always have hand sanitizer, not only right now, which the shelves at the stores are empty, we always have hand sanitizer.
These concert goers know that catching the coronavirus is a serious concern when attending public events. However, partiers like Ming Song explain how his fear won't stop him from living his life to the fullest.
No, I wash my hands. If you don't wash your hands, you're gonna get coronavirus. But I'm not gonna get coronavirus.
After Los Angeles was placed on a medical state of emergency, the coronavirus has changed the way people are interacting with one another. Water, sanitizers, and an emphasis on washing your hands seems to be the unspoken rule to limit the spread of the disease. Reporting for Valley View News, I'm Omar James.
4 members of Congress announced they're on a coronavirus self-quarantine. Senators Paul Gosar and Ted Cruz did so after being exposed to a person with the virus at CPAC conference in Washington, D.C. Representatives Doug Collins of Georgia and Matt Gaetz of Florida were at the same conference. They're also now on self-quarantine. They both shook hands with President Trump within the past week. All 4 politicians say they're doing the self-quarantine out of an abundance of caution.
Dr. Anthony Fauci joined 2 other researchers to write an editorial about the challenges surrounding the COVID-19 virus. The coronavirus death rates turn out to be very similar to the flu. It appears the flu death rate and the coronavirus death rate both land at around 1%. A person infected with the coronavirus can infect 2.2 other people on average. The problem isn't necessarily the virus, but rather containing the contagion. As the spread of the virus slows, the reproduction numbers will fall. Symptoms are similar to the seasonal flu. Most coronavirus cases aren't even that severe. In China, officials say 80% of people with coronavirus had mild symptoms, 15% had severe illnesses, and 5% were critical. People over 60 with underlying chronic diseases are more likely to contract the virus with noticeable symptoms. Children are actually more likely to be severely affected by the seasonal flu. With the coronavirus, a child's symptoms are a lot milder.
In Kentucky, a Walmart employee is among 4 people who tested positive for COVID-19. Governor Andy Beshear said people who test positive go to isolation. One of the 4 people with the virus has a recent foreign travel history. In the meantime, Governor Beshear says he's working to make sure state employees have enough paid sick leave available.
COVID-19 is a pandemic spread around the globe. Zachary Ferber has more on the coronavirus in our digital media center. Zach?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is placing anyone who enters the country on a self-quarantine for 2 weeks. 42 Israelis have so far tested positive for COVID-19. Thousands have been placed in isolation already. Israel has placed travel restrictions on travel from Italy and China, where the virus broke out. 10 people died after a hotel housing some quarantined coronavirus patients collapsed in southeastern China. 80 people were inside the building when it came down. The Fujian Fire Department deployed 1,000 firefighters and first responders to find survivors. Among those rescued were a young boy, his father, and mother. The family was taken to the hospital. At the time of the collapse, 58 people were under quarantine, all tested negative for novel coronavirus. Italy has expanded its quarantine to the entire nation. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte signed a law placing travel restrictions in the country. Locations heavily affected by the lockdown include Milan and Venice. Restrictions exist in cinemas, theaters, museums, and sports arenas. The top-tier soccer league in Italy, Serie A, has suspended play due to the coronavirus outbreak. Several embassies in North Korea shut down after their diplomats were evacuated over coronavirus fears. The country has yet to confirm a single case of the virus, but it imposed strict rules to stop the spread. This includes closing borders and isolating thousands of its own people. Some quarantine restrictions were recently relaxed, and hundreds of foreigners were allowed to travel back home. The evacuated diplomats apparently were flying to the Russian city of Vladivostok. International Women's Day took place across the globe. On March 8th, people recognized the achievements by women as well as the obstacles they face. The day wasn't officially recognized by the UN until 1977. The first International Women's Day event took place in 1911. After World War II, March 8th became the official date to advocate for women's equality. That's all for international news. Back to you in the studio.
In Chatsworth, the neighborhood council and residents met for a board meeting and candidates forum. As Valley View's William Dobby reports, one candidate lives on the streets and is advocating more services for the homeless.
There are 99 neighborhood councils in Los Angeles. 7 people are elected to the position, Anyone who lives, works, or owns a property in the area can run for the neighborhood council. Anyone like Rita Dawn. She says she's running for the council to help improve her Chatsworth community, even though she's without a place to live there.
Interest goes as far as to be on some of the committee boards that have to do with homelessness. And I'm interested in creating an environment where we can actually solve that problem.
Field organizer of the homeless program Everyone LA, Corinne Ho, and Rita Dawn shared their opinion of the community and council's involvement in the issue of homelessness.
I think it's great that the community is taking interest in being civically engaged, and the way to do that is to join your local neighborhood council, because that is the voice, the collective voice of the community.
I think it's important that people that have the right idea in mind get involved, so that we can come up with the right solutions.
Official reports show that there are more than 36,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. LA County has nearly 59,000 people without shelter. Katie Hawk, founder of About My Father's Business, comments on Rita Dawn's campaign.
She is from the unhoused community. They deserve a seat at the table and a voice in the conversation. And that's what she's doing. She's taking her seat. Who better to advocate for the unhoused but the unhoused?
The 2020 Chatsworth Neighborhood Council selection will be held on March 21st here at the Chatsworth Train Depot. Reporting for Valley View News, I'm William Dabby.
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Northern California Sunday. The U.S. Geological Survey says it occurred near Petrolia, California. There were no reports of damage. No tsunami warnings or watches were issued.
The SpaceX Dragon arrived at the International Space Station with more than 43,000 pounds of supplies for astronauts aboard. The Falcon 9 rocket launched Friday night from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida. The capsule contained more than 2 tons of equipment. In a live stream, SpaceX's Jessica Anderson said this was the 50th rocket in 5 years to successfully land. SpaceX will introduce the next generation of Dragon rockets in August.
Joe Biden is now the Democratic frontrunner in the presidential race. Bernie Sanders is behind him in second place. Sanders won only 4 out of 15 Super Tuesday states last week. Biden won big in the other states. Biden's campaign is running on $22 million in fundraising. He has at least 649 delegates.
We're building a coalition that most successful presidents of our lifetime, Barack Obama, had started.
Change never takes place from the top on down, always from the bottom on up.
Biden is ahead of where Hillary Clinton was in 2016. Sanders criticized Biden for his past support of the NAFTA trade deal and Social Security restrictions. This criticism is popular among some blue-collar workers in Michigan and Washington, where Sanders is the frontrunner.
More to come on Valley View News. Jane Fonda was recently honored for her activism in the community.
And many music festivals may be in jeopardy with the coronavirus outbreak. Now a popular artist is canceling shows.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Let's take a look into this week's Sundial headlines.
That's right, Kimberly. How's it going?
Everything is going well. Thank you for asking. This week on the Sundial is about the diet issue. And here are the stories. Heal Thy Soul is a vegan brand created by a CSUN student. Also, how a graduating CSUN student overcame with her eating disorders and veganism within the celebrity culture. That's all on my end. Now back to you guys in the studios.
In other news, Amari, I hear Disney's new movie is leading at the box office, and I just love Disney movies, so that's great.
Me too. Let me tell you some more. Disney's Onward is #1 in the box office. The film stars Chris Pratt and Tom Holland as two teenage elf brothers who embark on a quest to find a magic spell that will let them spend one last day with their father, who passed away. The family comedy grossed $40 million. The Invisible Man came in second with $15 million, and The Way Back made over $8 million. Grammy-winning singer Ciara is the latest musician to postpone a concert because of coronavirus fears. She says as a pregnant woman, her doctors advise her to limit travel and large gatherings. She also said she's disappointed she can't return to her hometown to do an amazing show. The concert was to be at the grand opening of the USO Fort Hood this month in Texas. Ciara urges everyone to stay healthy and safe. Swedish actor Max von Sydow, who starred in the 1973 The Exorcist, died. He played Father Lancaster Marin and also played Jesus in The Greatest Story Ever Told. Director Edgar Wright gave his condolences, tweeting he changed the face of international film with Bergman, played Christ, fought the devil, pressed the hot hail button, and was Oscar nominated for a silent performance. Wright called von Sydow a god. Producer Jonathan Southcott also paid homage, tweeting, "We have lost one of the true greats." Von Sydow was 90 years old. For her next birthday, Dolly Parton has one specific wish. She plans to be on the cover of Playboy again, and she's not letting age stop her. Parton told 60 Minutes Australia she doesn't plan to retire. The Grammy Award-winning singer has an A&E documentary called Biography Dolly that debuts in April. It'll touch on her journey from childhood poverty to her early days in Nashville. Parton graced Playboy's cover in 1978 when she was 32. Next January, she'll be 75. For International Women's Day, actress Jane Fonda was honored with the Visionary Activist Award. The women's empowerment group Visionary Women held a gala in Beverly Hills honoring Fonda. They say she's helped spread awareness about women's rights, wars, and climate change. At this year's Oscar, Fonda said the fashion industry is a contributor to climate change. And the actress recently met with U.S. senators on the Climate Change Task Force in Washington, D.C. to discuss the issue. That's all for your entertainment news. I'm Amari Martin.
Being a student athlete is hard enough. Imagine having to do it all alone in another country. Let's toss to Valley View News reporter Kaylin Ryan with the story.
Antonio Garcia Fernandez is a student athlete from Spain. He won't let an expired visa keep him from the sport he loves.
My purpose here at CSUN was to run track, but last year the scholarship that got me here ended, and I was faced with the choice of either go back to my country or stay here. My love for track comes from my family. My brother was the one that showed me the way. It worked out really well, and I ended up representing Spain in a few competitions around Europe. My last race in here was in Santa Barbara. I ran there the 60-meter hurdles.
And he won that race.
I'm looking forward for the summer. There I have some competitions lined up with my team, and also if I make the standards, I would be able to run for Spain again, which for me is the highest honors I can get in this sport.
Because of his visa status, he must compete unattached.
I've never been an unattached athlete. It was hard to understand how the process goes.
His old teammates still think of him as being a part of the team.
He's always there to push you. So at times when I'm feeling like I want to give up, he's always there to say, come on, let's do it, we got this.
Whenever I feel like I'm really tired, I can always count on Antonio to give me encouragement. He's not doing it for the money, he's doing it out of the enjoyment for it.
Antonio Garcia Fernandez is the epitome of what it means to be a student athlete. Being unattached doesn't stop him. Rather, it drives his passion for the love of track and field. For Valley View News, I'm Kaylin Ryan.
The Canton Charge of the NBAG League closed their arena as a coronavirus precaution. The Canton Charge is the NBAG League team for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They play in the Canton Memorial Civic Center. Arena officials say they're concerned about people's safety. They also handed out information showing how to prevent spreading the disease.
Although the NFL season is over, semi-pro football is on in Southern California. Valley View News reporter Brittany Smith explains.
If you're missing football in March, then you're missing out on the LaBelle Development Semi-Pro League. Last weekend, the Inglewood Blackhawks played the Santa Clarita Tigers, and for Inglewood, it was their defense that was unrelenting.
It's a lot of captains on defense. Defense wins championship, offense wins games, and without those two components, we wouldn't be where we are today.
The Blackhawk defense shut out Santa Clarita 36-0. Many of the players in this league are former college athletes or developing players looking to take their game to the next level.
I got some experience playing in the IFL, playing in the Arena League and things like that. Playing with the Inglewood Blackhawks, it's a very good organization, and they have a great owner, great staff. From top to bottom, hopefully the XFL, NFL, somebody comes and grabs me.
The team only practices together once a week. Nevertheless, they have a talent that allows them to dominate their competition. They're 5-0 and are the highest scoring offense in the league. Offensive lineman Lonnie Bickham says that lately, team chemistry has come together.
The blocking scheme has improved, every week more and more and more, and these guys are, honestly, for guys that have just played together for the first time, it's amazing to see what they can do.
Next week, the Inglewood Blackhawks look to take on Las Vegas as they look to remain undefeated. In Inglewood, I'm Brittany Smith, reporting.
Coming up on Valley View News, Uber introduces a new paid sick leave policy.
Also, South Korea invented an app to track the coronavirus. Stay with us.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that? This one? No. Were you texting and driving again? Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
When you're running your own business and taking care of your disabled brother, you tend to learn about responsibility pretty quickly.
Here's Valley View, Sofia Gutierrez with social media and tech.
The coronavirus has transformed the once booming stock market into a nightmare. The pandemic is making investors anxious. The S&P 500 briefly stopped trading for 15 minutes. The massive downfall triggered a key market circuit breaker minutes after the opening bell. The stock market sank more than 2,000 points, its worst since 2008. The stock market ended the day with almost 8%. President Trump blamed the media and the oil price war, arguing lower gas prices are good for consumers. Everyone went home and trading stopped for the day. World oil demand is expected to fall this year for the first time since 2009. The International Energy Agency says if the coronavirus continues to spread globally and China's need for oil remains low, global oil demand could fall as much as 730,000 barrels a day in 2020. South Korea is keeping an eye on its quarantined citizens with a smartphone app. The app tracks and makes sure people stay at home so they don't become super spreaders. South Korea has the world's largest coronavirus outbreak outside of China. There are almost 6,000 confirmed cases and 40 deaths. The app is only available for Android users for now, but will be available for iPhone users starting March 20th. Uber's new policy will offer drivers and delivery workers 14 days of paid sick leave if they are coming down with the coronavirus or placed in quarantine. There are over 100,000 cases worldwide, and numbers continue to rise in the U.S. The rideshare app Lyft will also provide funds to drivers who get diagnosed with COVID-19 or put under individual quarantine by a public health agency. This policy has begun in some markets, and they're working on implementing it. Several airline flights are plunging, and people's jobs are at risk. Thousands of airline workers are being asked to take leave of absence or unpaid leave. United Airlines and JetBlue announced they will cut employee schedules due to lower demand. Airline companies say they want to avoid layoffs. Wells Fargo CEO Chair Betsy Duke officially resigned after Representative Maxine Waters pressured her to do so. Since 2016, the bank has changed CEOs 3 times after the fake account scandal. Duke was a member of the bank's audit and risk committees. Her resignation comes after a report made showing problematic communications between Wells Fargo executives. The House Financial Services Committee is holding a hearing, and Duke is scheduled to appear. Analysts say this is a smart play to be used as a distraction from the bank's troubles. Jack Dorsey will continue to be Twitter's CEO. Elliott Management announced they made an agreement to keep Dorsey in charge. Last month, Elliott talked about serious changes for Twitter, including replacing Dorsey. The agreement consists of adding 2 new members to the board of directors and receiving a $1 billion investment by investor Silver Lake. It's not the first time that Dorsey has been placed under heavy scrutiny. The coronavirus outbreak has people stocking up on disinfectants and non-perishable foods. Grocery stores are experiencing a shortage of items like hand sanitizer. Distributors are having a hard time keeping up with consumer demands. Many stores have aisles empty with shelves. Some people have taken the do-it-yourself route to make their own hand sanitizer. And 2 kids in Texas ditched a traditional lemonade stand and made self-hand sanitizers and sold them for $3 a bottle. The kid said it's made out of aloe vera and alcohol and reassured it was 60% alcohol like the CDC recommends. However, some officials have mixed opinions, saying that the DIY hand sanitizer is not effective. That's it for social media and tech news. I'm Sofia Gutierrez. Back to you.
Thank you, Sofia. Usually when dogs go missing, it's hard for the owners to find them. But the discovery of one missing Miami dog gives hope to all dog lovers. A Michigan woman discovered a stray dog in her yard. She took the Presa Canario canine to an animal hospital where they scanned his microchip. It turned out that the dog was named Simba and was 1,400 miles away from its Miami home. After 2 months, Simba will be returning home to his owners. That's all for us at Valley View News. Thank you for watching. I'm Xochitl Hernandez.
And I'm Tyler Ridgel. For news any time of day, go to our website, sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.